Hello students, today we are going to discuss the few numericals on bending stresses. Numericals on bending stresses means here we are going to use bending equation or flexural formula to solve the numerical or problems. So here initially in the last lecture we have seen how this flexural equation is derived. Flexural equation means what? Bending formula. So bending formula is m upon I equal to sigma by y equal to E by R. By using this equation, we are going to solve few numericals. So in the equation, you cannot use all the six terms together. Means according to the problem, you must see what type of problem or what parameters are given in the problem. Accordingly, you use all the parameters as per requirement. Means instead of using all the six terms, sometimes you have to use only m upon I equal to sigma by y. Sometimes only sigma by y is equal to E by R. Means according to the given data in the problem, you can use this particular equation or you can modify the equation. In the equation, m is the maximum bending moment, I is the moment of inertia, sigma is the bending stress in compression or in tension, E is modulus of elasticity or Young's modulus, R is the radius of curvature, and Y is the distance of any extreme fiber from neutral axis. Okay, means at what distance from neutral axis you want the stress, that Y distance you can keep in the formula. Now I have shown here bending stress distribution diagram. So we know that this is the bending stress distribution diagram. Means there is, if beam is simply supported, it will bend like this, and whenever it bend like this, there will be compression in upper zone and tension in lower zone. And accordingly, here you can see sigma C are the compressive bending stress and sigma T is tensile bending stress, where sigma represents bending stress and C and T subscripts is stands for compression and tension respectively. Now, if cross section is symmetrical, what are the symmetrical cross sections? So here you can see a rectangular cross section of width B, depth D, hollow rectangular cross section of width capital B and small b and depth capital D and small d. Even I section, it is also symmetrical. Whenever symmetrical sections are there, where neutral axis is always light at the center, means above and below the neutral axis, area of the figure remains same. In such a cases, bending stress diagram will be obtained like this. Means in that case, in symmetrical section, sigma C and sigma T is the same, because distance of extreme fiber means from NA, this point and this point will be at the same distance from neutral axis. That's why sigma C and sigma T are same in symmetrical sections. Now here I have shown bending stress distribution diagram for unsymmetrical sections. Unsymmetrical means what? Unsymmetrical means what? Where this neutral axis, it not lies at center, because majority of area you can see T section. Most of the area due to the flange it acts in upward zone, means neutral axis will try to shift in above part. Similarly, inverted triangle. If triangle is inverted, in that case, this neutral axis will try to shift towards base side. Okay, so in this case, you can see sigma C and sigma T. These are the tension and compression values. But here you will find that the value of sigma T is more than sigma C, because your distance of extreme fiber, this YC, will be less than YT. Okay, so length in or this distance in tension zone will be YT and distance in compression zone will be YC, because in the bending equation we are using m upon I equal to sigma by y, means as per the variation in y, the sigma C and sigma T will change. This is for unsymmetrical sections. Now sometimes the beam is subjected to cantilever portion. There are few examples where beam is in tension on top side. What are that cases? That is nothing but the cantilever beam case. In cantilever beam, normally one end is fixed and beam will bend like this. Whenever it bent like this, tension will be on the top side and compression will be on the bottom side. And in case of simply supported case, we have seen that compression is at top side and tension is at bottom side. But in cantilever beam, it is opposite to that. So whenever any part of the beam is under tension, the sigma T will be the top side, sigma C will be at bottom side. That is normally happens in case of cantilever beams. Now we are going to see few problems or numericals. So I have started with very simple numerical. See the problem given. A 2-meter long rectangular beam of size 60 mm and 40 mm is simply supported at the ends. It carries a load of 5 kN at midspan. Determine the maximum bending stress induced in the beam. Now, what is given here? Length of the beam is given as 2 meter. Size of the beam is given as 60 mm by 40 mm. So this first dimension is width and second dimension is depth. Simply supported at the ends. Means this beam is simply supported of length 2 meter and it carries 5 kilonewton point load at the center. Okay. Determine the maximum bending stress induced in the beam. So we have to use flexural equation m upon I equal to sigma by y, and using that you have to find out the bending stress sigma. But before using this equation, you should find out all the terms in the equation. So first term is moment, m upon I means m. What is m here? When beam is simply supported with central point load, its bending moment is calculated using formula WL by 4. That we have discussed in SFD and BMD chapter, that is unit number 2. Beam with simply supported and central point load, M max is WL by 4, where W is 5, L is 2, divided by 4 we will get moment, that is M max 2.5 kilonewton meter. 2.5 kilonewton meter, you have to convert all these values in Newton mm. So 2.5 kilonewton meter, it means 2.5 into 10 to power 3 Newton into 10 to power 3 mm, means kilonewton and meter both you have to convert into Newton and mm. So 10 to power 3, 10 to power 5 means you have to multiply with this 2.5 by 10 to power 6, then this will be turned into Newton mm. Now after getting m, you have to calculate I, moment of inertia. For rectangular section, you know that Ixx is equal to BD cube by 12. So B is 60, D is 40 cube by 12. So here we got value of Ixx 320 into 10 to power 3 mm raised to 4. So we got this first two term, moment and I, moment of inertia. So sigma is the stress that you have to calculate. Y is the distance of extreme fiber from neutral axis. So neutral axis is at center. Okay. So Y will be distance, it is symmetrical section. So Y will be D by 2, that is 20 mm. 40 by 2, that is 20 mm. So here I have calculated Y, M max 2.5 into 10 to power 6, I 320 into 10 to power 3 mm raised to 4. Okay, why it is mm raised to 4? Because dimension of this rectangle is in mm. If it is in meter, you have to convert it into mm. And then y is equal to 40 by the that is 20 mm from neutral axis. So using flexural equation, we have to use only first force term because we have to calculate stress. M upon I sigma by y, you put all these terms, you will get sigma means what? Sigma max. I have converted this equation like this. M is equal to M max, I is equal to Ixx, sigma is equal to sigma max and y is equal to y max. Means according to the requirement of the problem, you have to change the terms of the equation. So here only sigma max is unknown. So sigma max, by solving this cross multiplication, you will get the value of sigma max, that is 104.16 Newton per mm square. Newton per mm square means what? MPa. Okay, due to symmetry, sigma C and sigma T both are same. So sigma C, sigma T both will be same due to symmetry. So this is the bending stress diagram for rectangular section. Now see problem number 2. In problem number 2, what is given? A circular pipe of external diameter 70 mm and 8 mm thickness. Means this thickness of the wall is 8 mm, is simply supported over the span of 2.5 meter. So this is the span 2.5 meter simply supported over A and B, and find the maximum concentrated load that can be applied at the center of the span if permissible stress is the tube is 150 MPa. Now what is given here? Length is given 2.5. Here W is missing. You have to find out maximum concentrated load means what? What is the point load here which will produce the bending stress 150 MPa? Means here sigma is given in the problem. In previous case we have calculated sigma. Now here bending stress sigma, that is 150 MPa is given. So write down first of all given things. Capital D is 70 mm. Small d will be that 70 is external diameter minus 2 into 8. इंटरनल डायमीटर अगर निकालना है तो क्या करना पड़ेगा? You have to deduct this 8 mm. This 8 mm is twice T. So it will be 54 mm. Small diameter 54 mm. Length is 2.5 meter. Means 2500 mm because 1 meter is equal to 1000 mm. I have converted into mm. And stress is given 150 MPa. So what is M max for this case? Simply supported beam with central point load, it is WL by 4. Here L is known to 0.5 and 4 is the constant. So 2.5 by 4, it will be M max will be equal to 0.625 W kilonewton meter, or in Newton mm it is 0.625 into 10 to power 6 W. W should be as it is because we don't know the value of W, that you have to calculate. So in M max equation I have put this W as it is. Okay, and it is converted into Newton mm because power is 10 to power 6. Now you have to calculate the moment of inertia for hollow circular section. What is the formula for that? It is pi by 64 capital D raised to 4 minus small d raised to 4. Already we have discussed in the second lecture about this. Pi by 64 capital D raised to 4. Capital D means what? 70 raised to 4 and small d is 54 mm. So 50 raised to 4. By solving this you will get value of Ixx 761.2 10 to power 3 mm raised to 4. And Y max is 70 by 2. Y max is equal to distance of extreme fiber from neutral axis. In circular section it is also symmetrical section, so neutral axis will be at the center. So total diameter is 70 means distance of extreme fiber will be 70 by 2, that is 35 mm. And then using bending equation m upon I equal to sigma by y, here we will get m max. M max we have already calculated in previous case. So by putting this here, w is missing. In m max we should multiply with w because m upon I sigma by y, I have used that value as a w as 0.625 w into 10 to power 6. I is here, y max is 35, sigma c is given in the problem itself. In this problem bending permissible stress in the tube is 150 MPa. So that sigma I have kept here. Sigma, that value is 150 MPa, and by solving this you will get first answer, that will be Newton. 5.22 into 10 to power 3 Newton, because all these terms involved in the equations are in Newton. If you want to calculate in kilonewton, you should divide by 1000. 1000 means what? 10 to power 3. Then 10 to power 3 will cancel. This value will changes into kilonewton. Okay, so this is about second problem. Now see the third problem. In third problem, see the cross section given. Find the maximum bending moment of the simply supported beam is 10 kilonewton meter. The cross section of the beam is shown in figure. Find maximum bending stress in tension and compression. So what is given in the problem here? Directly maximum bending moment is given 10 kilonewton meter, means 10 into 10 to power 6 Newton mm, and this is the cross section given. Okay, see the cross section. What is the cross section? 120 by 60 mm is one rectangle, 120 depth, 60 mm width. There is one rectangle. From that, here we will find that this is a 20 and this one is 20. From that rectangle, this 20 into 20 block is removed or cutted. In mechanics, we have seen these problems, cutting sections. From entire cross section, rectangular cross section, here square size 20 by 20 mm is removed. Okay, means it is not symmetrical problem. So we have to first of all find out y bar of this particular section, because x bar will be half of this particular section, because here if you pass y axis from the center, then it will form two equal parts of the figure. Means here x bar will be 20 plus 10, 30 mm. X bar will be 30 mm. Now y bar cannot be calculated just by observing the diagram. Hence, we need to calculate y bar using equation E1 y1 minus E2 y2 upon E1 minus E2. Why minus sign here? Because this portion is cutted or deducted from this big rectangle. Means figure number 1 will be big rectangle of size 120 by 60 and figure number 2 will be 20 by 20 square. Okay, same thing I have written here. A1, E2. E2 is the area of second figure. A1 is the area of big rectangle. Y1 means what? Center of this particular big rectangle from bottom. It is total height is 120. So half of that 60 mm. For second figure Y2 means what? Center of this particular square from bottom. So that central distance will be this 20 plus 20 by 2 10. That is 30 mm. So y bar by putting value of a1 y1 minus e2 y2 upon a1 minus a2, you will get y bar, and y bar is 61.76 mm from bottom piece. Means from bottom it is 61.76 and from top it will be 120 minus this 61.76. You will get the distance from top. So from bottom it is 61.76 and from top it is 58.24 mm. Okay, so we got y1 and y2. After that, we have to calculate moment of inertia of this particular cross section. For moment of inertia also you have to use same equation. Okay, for bigger rectangle it will be BD cube by 12. Okay, plus A1 H1 square, because it is not symmetrical section. So you have to use parallel axis theorem. So mi of bigger figure minus mi of smaller figure. So what will be the mi of bigger figure about xx? So BD cube, B means this 60 is the width of bigger rectangle, D cube means 120 cube by 12, BD cube by 12 plus A1. A1 means what? 120 into 60. That is the area of first figure. And what is this H1? This H1 is nothing but distance of that, it is nothing but y bar minus y1. So here you have to take that value as a y bar minus y1. Y1 is 60 and y bar is 61.76. So y bar minus y1, 61.76 minus 60, you will get H1. You put that value here minus this mi of this rectangle, that is b, it is square. So 20 into 20 cube by 12 plus a2 is 20 into 20 into y bar minus y2. To find h1 and h2, simply you take the values y bar minus y1 as a h1 and y bar minus y2 as a h2. So y bar minus y2 will get h2. After solving this, you will get the moment of inertia as 8.60 into 10 to power 6 mm raised to 4. Why we have did this calculation? Because in the flexure equation we are having m upon I equal to sigma by y, and this entire practice is to find out y bar, to find out I. For what purpose we have did this? To know the value of I. If you want to calculate I, you must know y bar, and to know the position of neutral axis you should know what is y bar from bottom, that is yt and yc. That to calculate that we should do the calculation like this. So using flexural equation, m upon I equal to sigma by y. To calculate sigma c, it is m upon I into yc. M is given in the problem, that is 10 kilonewton meter. 10 kilonewton meter means 10 to power 6 newton mm divided by I, that is 8.6 10 to power 6 into yc. Yc means what? Distance of extreme fiber from the top. So here, because simply supported case, top will be the compression zone and bottom will be tension zone. So that's why here yc is taken. So you will get sigma c as a 67.72 MPa. And to find sigma t, here you have to take only yt. So here you should take yc. M upon I will be as it is, only yt distance will be taken. Yt, what is yt? Yt means that this first distance of extreme fiber, that is y bar. Top, it is the distance of neutral axis from top, that is nothing but yt. Okay, so by putting this you will get sigma t. So actually here there is a mistake, it is not sigma c, it is sigma t. So sigma t is 71.81 and sigma c is 67.72. So in this way we have determined the compression and tensile stresses. Now see this problem number 4. A beam of span 4 meter carries a UDL of 15 kilonewton per meter. the cross section of the beam shown in the figure. Find the maximum stress induced, draw bending stress diagram. So here beam is given of span 4 meter, which is loaded with UDL 15 kilonewton per meter, and I section is given here. Of depth total 960 is the depth of wave, and this 30 plus this 10 means 40, means total depth of this I section is 1000 mm. 960 plus 30 990 plus 10 1000, and width of the cross section you can see it is 300 mm the top flange, and bottom flange is 200 mm. Means this is I section which is not symmetrical about x axis, because it is symmetrical about y, but about x what happened, this flange is 300, this flange is 200. If both flanges have same dimension, in that case it will be symmetrical, but given section is not symmetrical, so that's why here yc and yt will not be same. Now first of all UDL is given. From that UDL use the formula, that is M max for simply supported beam with UDL. Formula is WL square by 8. So W is 15 into L is 4 square by 8. You will get M max 30 kilonewton meter. 30 kilonewton meter means 30 into 10 to power 6 Newton mm. This is M max. Now you have to calculate moment of inertia. But due to unsymmetrical sections, first of all you have to find out y bar, position of neutral axis. And how many sections are there? Bottom plane section 1, middle wave section 2, top flange section 3. So that's why here it is not a cutting portion. All the three portions are added. So here y bar is equal to a1 y1 plus a2 y2 plus e3 y3 divided by a1 plus a2 plus e3. And then find out A1 means area of bottom part 200 into 30, middle wave 960 into 10, top flange 300 into 10. Similarly calculate Y1. Y1 means center of this middle portion from bottom 30 by 2. Then Y2 center of this wave from bottom it will be 30 plus 960 by 2. So center of this third figure that will be Y3, it will be 960 plus 30, 990. 990 plus 10 by 2 means 995 will be the Y3. Put A1 Y1 this A1 A2 A3 Y1 Y2 Y3 in the above equation. Find out Y bar. Then here you will get YT, distance of bottom fiber. Whatever distance you will get, that will be from bottom, and from top it should be 1000 minus this bottom distance 428.54. So we will get YT YC. After getting Yt and Yc, you have to calculate the moment of inertia in the similar way by adding all the three flanges together. Means mi of bottom flange, mi of wave, mi of top flange. Mi of bottom flange will be bd cube by 12. B is 200 into 30 cube by 12 plus a1 h1 square means 200 into 30 into h1 will be this y bar minus 15. Y bar minus y1. Y bar is 428.54 minus y1 15. You will get h1. Okay, so here 428.55 minus 15. Similarly, mi of wave it will be bd cube by 12. B means what? This 10 mm is b. D means 960 cube by 12 plus area of this wave will be 960 into 10 into y bar minus y2. Y bar 428.5, y2 is 510. So here it is y2. Okay, so we'll get h2. A1 is 2 square plus mi of third flange. Third flange means what? This one 300 into 10 cube b into d cube by 12 plus area will be 300 into 10 into y bar minus y3. You will get s3. So s3 square by adding all this you will get mi about centroidal axis, that is 2.7896 into 10 to power 9 mm raised to 4. And then use bending equation. M upon I equal to sigma max by y. M we have calculated previously. Here m is 30 into 10 to power 6. I we have just calculated 1.062. M upon I into sigma by y. Sigma you have to calculate. Y max is nothing but distance of this portion compression zone, that is 571. So that will be the y max. So here we will get sigma max. If you want to calculate sigma t, then you, instead of using this distance, you can use this one 428. You will get yt to get sigma t. So here we have calculated sigma c, and sigma t can be calculated by varying the y max. Instead of 571, you can use the value of 428.54. So this is our problem number 4. So in this way, you select different cross sections of the beam and try to solve the different numericals. Problems are very simple. Here you have to use flexural equation. So in the equation, we are having the term m upon I sigma by y. It means you have to calculate maximum moment m. You have to calculate moment of inertia I. Then to know the sigma max or sigma c, sigma t, you should find out the values of y max. Okay, so in this way try to solve the problems, few more numericals. Thank you very much.